Hello friends, a very warm welcome to the session. I am Kuldeep. In this session, we are going to learn about complete full stack web development using the MERN stack technology. So MERN stack consists of four basic components: MongoDB, Express, React and Node. But before discussing about these four components, first of all, let's discuss about the prerequisites of the MERN stack technology. So the prerequisites for the MERN stack technologies are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some basic knowledge of database. Any kind of database will work for you. You can go for MySQL, you can go for MongoDB, you can go for SQL, NoSQL, any kind of database. Some prior knowledge of database can help you with this session. So the first prerequisite of MERN stack technology is HTML, and HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So basically, HTML is a markup language which is responsible for uh, structuring the core concepts of a website. Basically, if you want to structure the web page, you have to use the HTML tags. An HTML tag is an entity or is a line of code which is responsible for developing something or structuring something on a web page. HTML elements tell the browser how to display the content. Next technology in this order, we have CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet, and CSS is used to design the HTML tag. So by using the HTML tag, we can only put element into the virtue, but using the CSS, we can style these elements. CSS is widely used language on the web, as each and every web page use CSS as his first priority to design the web page. Next we have JavaScript. So JavaScript is completely different from HTML and CSS. So if we develop a raw website using HTML and CSS, that website is known as a static website, as we can only display some kind of data using the HTML, and using the CSS we can design that data, but we cannot manipulate that particular data, or we cannot interact with that data. So to make a website more interactive or more relatable or more user friendly, we have to use a JavaScript. JavaScript is a lightweight object oriented programming language. It is an interpreted programming language that so JavaScript enables dynamic interactivity on the websites when applied to the HTML document. Also, JavaScript is responsible for providing the logical and arithmetical operations. If you want to perform any kind of logical or arithmetical operations on the website, so you have to use JavaScript along with the HTML and CSS. JavaScript code can be integrated into the HTML file, and also it can be imported from the other files of JavaScript also. Now let's discuss the React.js. React.js is a front-end library of the JavaScript. The main objective of React.js is to develop user interfaces that improve the speed of the app. So it uses the component and data pattern that improves the readability and helps to maintain the larger applications. Next, we have the Node.js. Node.js is a cross-platform runtime environment and library for running the JavaScript application outside of the browser. Before this, we are only able to apply the JavaScript code on the browser side, because we have to integrate the JavaScript into the HTML part, and HTML can only run onto a browser. But after the Node.js development, we can use JavaScript out of the browser. And using the JavaScript and Node.js, it is used for creating the server side and networking web applications. Next, we have the Express.js. Express.js is just a layer above the Node.js. Express.js is basically a Node.js based web framework that is used to maintain the web applications more effectively. Express.js is a web framework for Node.js. It is used for fast and robust. Robust means strong web applications. So Express is a layer built on the top of the Node.js that helps manage a server and routes. Routes is basically the URL links that you have provided to the web pages. Next, we have the MongoDB, and it is as clear from the name. The MongoDB stands for the Mongo database. So every website needs a front end. For Monster technology, we have HTML, we have CSS, we have React.js to develop the front end technologies. Also, a website needs a backend. For backend, we have the MongoDB and the Express.js. But there is another very important component of a website, that is database. For Monster technology, we use Mongo as a database technology. So Mongo is a document oriented database. Document oriented database means basically there are two types of databases. One is SQL database and one is NoSQL database. MongoDB stands for NoSQL database, and the basic difference between SQL databases and NoSQL databases are the structure, how the database stores the data. In a SQL database, the structure of the data is in the tabular form. The database stored the data in the row and column format. But in the NoSQL database, just like in MongoDB, the data is stored in a text form or in the node format, where each node have some kind of data and then we have other subnodes. MongoDB is scalable, open source, high performance, document oriented database. As we know, the MongoDB is open source and it is free to use. Anyone and everyone can use this MongoDB into their applications. So this is all about the MERN stack technologies. So far we have discussed about the prerequisites of the MERN stack technology, that is HTML, responsible for developing the website; CSS, cascading style sheet, which is responsible for designing the website. Next we have the JavaScript, which is responsible for providing the interactive technology to the website. In the MERN stack technology, we have four basic components: Mongo, Express, React and Node. So here the React.js is responsible for the designing part of the website. Node.js and Express.js are responsible for providing the server-side technology to a web page. Next we have the MongoDB, which is responsible for the database connectivity of the front end and the backend server. So this is all about the MERN stack technology. In the next session, we'll start with the HTML and we'll discuss how to develop a web page using the HTML technology. Thank you for watching this video. See you again in the next part of the series.